Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of The Lovely Show, starring Kevin Garry. Starring, yes. I think we can say starring now.
I think so, yeah. Presented by, starring.
I mean, we've got top billing.
Totally, yeah.
Nobody
We're the
else here.
headliners on this. We're the headliners.
We're number 1 and 2 on the call sheet.
Yeah. Who's 1 and 2? I wouldn't fight over it.
Her name's Justine Stafford. My name's Cavan McGowan. How are ye?
How are you? Where are you? How's things?
What's going on in your world?
I have something now. This is a first for us, Kevin, because
Off
the bat, it's normally my health that's been through the wars.
Yes, we
But
normally
for a
hear
first.
far too detailed descriptions of your inner workings.
Yeah. But for a first time on this show, it's you.
Well, I felt like you were getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, fair. I get that.
So I wanted some of that sweet, sweet cred for myself. So yeah, I cut my hand very badly.
Yeah.
This day last week. My wife got me a wood carving set for Christmas.
Lovely idea.
Lovely idea. Sure. Nothing wrong with the idea.
In practice, different story.
So I'd started making little things out of bog oak. Like I made a ring out of bog oak and made a couple of pendants. And I was like, this is fun and relaxing.
I'm ready to progress.
My wife got me just the sharpest set of knives ever committed. They're basically like large scalpels. And she also gave me a bag of wood to carve. And she was away for a couple of hours and I was like, right, I'm going to carve me a buffalo.
There you are.
So I took out a piece of ash, which is actually the hardest type of wood you could ever fucking whittle. It's what they make hurls from.
Oh, God.
So I'm whittling away my buffalo and I spent a couple of hours at it. I've got the basic shape of a buffalo. It's quite hard, as I said, to cut. And I was congratulating myself for not cutting myself. I will say, with the set, there was a little pamphlet, like a 2-page pamphlet.
2 pages.
That was called How to Carve Safely. Didn't read that.
2 pages.
Didn't bother that.
Because I wouldn't mind if it was a full little booklet. You're like, I can't be arsed, but 2 pages.
Even if I glanced at the picture on the front, it was a man whittling wood, but he was holding the knife away from himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if I'd even just registered the front of it.
That image.
So I'm like, God, I've done a good job. I haven't cut myself at all. And I texted my wife and I was like, I'm going to go to bed in a couple of minutes, just finishing up here. And literally put down the phone, grabbed the knife, and it just slipped and slashed the fat part of my thumb. Do you want to see it?
Yeah. I'm not great with blood now. Oh, you're going to reveal here. Oh, Lord Jesus. So this is the week of healing. Jesus. Now they've done a lovely job on you there, Kevin.
Tidy little job.
That's going to be a lovely little scar.
It's going to be a cool little scar.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The annoying thing is, I talked to my sister-in-law who is a nurse, and she said, "Oh, they call that the avocado cut because that's where everyone cuts themselves."
Well, you got it from Notions, in fairness, but a different kind of Notions.
But I'd hate to people to see that scar and go, I fucking got that cut in avocado.
It's a very interesting because it kind of goes round. It's not even just a straight.
Yeah,
it's
it was
like,
a proper slash. It was a proper slash. So I had to go to A&E. I bandaged up myself. I was bleeding everywhere. And I was like, I'm just going to bandage up and just go to bed. and just hope that
Sleep
this
it
just
off.
goes away.
Sleep it off, yeah.
Sleep off the blood loss. And my wife came home and I was like, yeah, I did something stupid there. And she was
The
like,
old bed sheet's
us-
red. She's like, I had an idea.
give us a look. And she peeled it off and like a splurt of blood just kind of came out and arced over my shoulder. And she was like, get to A&E. So I went to A&E at 12:30 and
I'd say you're in and out, surely.
8 hours.
Oh.
Have you ever been A&E like in the middle of the night?
Oh, yeah.
It's grim, man.
I'm like a regular in there. They're like, you again. But the only way I entertain myself is you can play a fun game of like.
Your bed isn't ready yet, Justine.
You should have called like 2 weeks in advance and booked. But the game I like to play sometimes is what's wrong with that person? Because you look around and you're like, oh, well, I can see Jesus.
Yeah, I like that as well. But like some of them are easy. You're like,
yeah.
he's got a big thing in his face.
Yeah.
He got into a fight or
There's
fell
a limp
down.
there. Something's
That lad's
twisted.
holding his toe. Mm-hmm. And then there's like, oh, there's a woman coughing. I wonder what she has.
Yeah, I know.
There's a woman looks very, very sad and she hasn't spoke to anybody. I wonder what's wrong with her.
It's the only kind of, because you start to lose track of time and there's only so many videos you can watch on your phone. You have to.
Oh man, I brought down the tablet and I watched a full season of
nice.
Mindhunter.
That was I don't have a bloody tablet. I need to
Man, get
invest
yourself
in
a
one.
tablet.
But my heart
Fully
breaks.
charged. It was like I was ready for it. But there was a guy just getting sick.
Oh.
He was just like sleeping and then getting up and he was asking for a glass of water and then he would throw up the water. Then ask for more water. I was like, stop giving this lad fuel.
Look what you're doing.
It's not sitting well with him. If water isn't sitting well with you.
You're in the right place, at least.
It was so grim. But I remember I was in A&E on Halloween one night.
Oh, wow.
That's a fun place to be on Halloween.
Frankenstein coming in with a gash on the head.
There was like the Joker was there with a cut face and the Hulk was there with a broken arm. It looked like a support group for battered superheroes. It was just kind of fun thing to play around with.
Yeah,
it
but
kept me occupied. Anyway.
If you didn't know it was an injury, you'd be like looking and going, geez, they did a great costume there. The blood looks really realistic.
Yeah. Zombie Captain America looks great. Oh no, sorry, he's just addicted to something.
It's my heart breaks every time I'm there though for the security in there and the nurse. The way they are treated in A&E. Particularly, it's rough.
I just kept apologising. I was like the nurse was bandaging me up, and I was like, I feel so stupid, and she didn't say anything. And I was like, I'm just wasting everyone's time here. I just feel really stupid, and she was like, She was like basically saying, yeah, you are.
I can't disagree with you. I'm not going to make you feel better here.
I was like, you're supposed to say you're grand.
Come on, you're going to make me feel good. Give me a lollipop. Good Lord.
So that's the crack.
The
5
buffalo,
stitches.
5. The buffalo is absolutely gorgeous, though.
Well, it's only it's not even halfway there. It's just the basic shape of a buffalo.
Yeah. No, I liked the amateurness to it. That it was a very rough shape. I thought this is great. But I didn't realise there's actually going to be more done to it.
Oh, yeah. That was just sort of the outline of it.
But I don't know. There's something in keeping it as it is now, as like a memento of, do you remember that time I got the avocado cut? It's nice.
Yeah. I felt very dumb. How's your week?
Good now, yeah. God, I haven't seen you since the live show.
Yes, live show Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
Good old crack.
That was great.
Justine sang a beautiful, beautiful rendition of Joda. I'd say he was dancing in his grave.
I can only hope.
Well, it looked like dancing.
Yeah. I hope he had his white tie off and around his head.
He was mostly spinning, actually. Somebody must have been giving him a good spin. Yeah, we talked about like how little you practiced beforehand.
And in fairness, because
so
I
casual.
know, don't look back in anger, like there's so many songs I know off the chords, because I think when people saw the sheet in front of me, like, does she not even know the words of this song? And I was like, I absolutely do. It was the chords I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'd only decided literally half an hour before arriving, I better do that song. So I had to go with the chords then on the sheet, because I didn't know them.
Well,
I wish I'd practiced
tore the
more.
house down.
Sure, look. Not a dry eye or seat in the house, which is all you can hope for.
I saw in the news there has been Oxford English Dictionary.
Do you know what?
Added a rake of Irish words.
I saw
to the
this.
dictionary.
Yeah.
Did you see the list of them?
Go through them there. I was talking about this the other day.
Spice bag.
Yeah. And I love that they've referenced in it. The origin is from 2006.
Oh, was it?
Chinese in Ireland.
I think a lot of them are due to Dairy Girls.
Yes.
I think Dairy Girls has popularised a lot of Irish slang.
class, even it's...
Yes, so you got spice bag, Luderman.
Now, that wasn't it, because I'd know Luder.
Luder.
The like shortened down version of that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone said Luderman for at
Luderman.
least 50 years.
Yeah, Luder I've heard now a bit.
So Luderman is a sort of a foolish man.
It says, I think in the description, it's a foolish person specifically, or especially a man, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed that in the actual Oxford description.
I'm surprised it didn't go to Amadon. Because Amadon is much more widely used.
That's far
than
more.
Luderman.
But maybe Amadon is already in there.
Doubt it somehow. Class, in brackets, great. Which I thought was more, I thought that was more of a Midlands thing.
Yeah.
They obviously say it up in Derry.
It's definitely not a Dublin thing.
No, it's not a Dublin thing. Martho.
That's a Dublin thing, and I'm disappointed that's been put in the dictionary.
Which I imagine is short for mortified.
Mortified, yeah.
Mortified.
I wouldn't be a fan of that word now.
Blah. I'm not sure what blah is. I thought it was a type of a pastry or a cake or something.
It's the white
bread.
soft roll. It's Waterford that's famous for it. That's what they call it and use it. Now, what I love...
Blah or a blah?
I'd call it a blah, but maybe it's a
blah.
But what I love in the Oxford Dictionary thing there is that it says the origin, they're linking and think it might be from blanc, the French word for white. I'm like, you are given a lot of credit here that I don't think.
You're doing a big leap. You're doing a big leap.
I think someone was hungover, didn't get their breakfast roll, went in to get it and couldn't remember the word for the roll to put it into. I was like,
right.
Put the sausage into the blah, blah, the blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Bread.
Mineral for a drink.
Love that. That's so
drink.
country.
But there a lot of these are very
outdated.
Old and outdated. Haven't been used in a long time.
Yeah.
Like if you went up to Dublin, and I'm sure when you arrived in college, and you were like, "I'll have a sandwich, please, and can I have a pint of milk?" And they're like, "No, we don't serve pints of milk."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I just have a mineral." So
yeah.
And they were like, "What are you talking about? You want some zinc?
Yeah.
You want some iron?
Mm-hmm.
A soft drink."
Yeah. Now, I agree fully. Like, as in at that time, which would have been, we're talking even 10, 15 years ago, even when I was in Dublin then, and I'd say mineral, people were like, the fuck you talking about? So even now, more so, I'm like, that's outdated, really.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a chipper at home, you walk in and it's still on the menu has milk or minerals. And I fucking love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Debs, we all know, it's the Irish prom.
I didn't realise in Donegal, they use the word prom.
No way.
Yeah, that's not right.
Why would that be?
Where is that
they're the
coming
little
from?
furthest point away from England.
And now I don't know if there's some kind of...
There's a lot of Scottish people in Donegal.
Could be. I always, because you know the way in certain Gaeltacht places they'd say mom a lot, which I find very American, but it comes from the Irish wam, like
right.
Mawam. So mom is. So maybe there's some Irish word where they're getting prom from.
Prom. And maggot in terms of to act the maggot is to be a bit silly.
Yeah.
And have a bit of crack.
Yeah. I'd prefer acting the giddy goat. I just find it's a bit more energetic. Fun.
It is, Joe. I'd say a child would act the giddy goat, but I'd say a teenager would act the maggot.
Yeah. See, the dictionary, these are the definitions they don't give you. It's very important to know the distinction between calling someone a maggot.
So, to act the giddy goat, let's say what I would classify that as if you were at your cousin's communion and you were sitting on the pew at Mass and your other cousin was behind you and then you went back to sit with him and then you went back to sit in your original seat and you're laughing a little bit. That's acting the giddy goat. Sit down.
Bloody musical chairs over here.
Sit down and stop messing.
Yeah.
You're acting the giddy goat. But to act the maggot, I think that would be maybe running on top of a car after a county final.
Things have upped a level.
Yeah, it's up to level. Or if you're pouring like 7-Up, Coke, a Fanta Orange all into a pint glass and then daring each other to drink it.
Yeah.
Lads, you're acting the maggot. Okay?
Yeah.
They're for dashes. Leave it on the bar. That's for dashes.
Yeah.
Okay? You're acting the maggot.
Yeah, it's a very manager thing to say either to staff or even a football manager to the junior team.
Or if you're throwing beer mats across the bar. Lads, come on.
Yeah.
You're acting the maggot.
Yeah.
But it's not leading to like a full on riot or anything like that.
No, it's not escalated that much.
It's not escalated.
But the thing about those words being there, and it still blows my mind that the word shift isn't in there. Like
Shift surely is in the
it's not.
English dictionary.
In Oxford Dictionary, it's not. Because I was so intrigued by this week that I was
You did
looking
some
at.
research.
I did. Shift has not been added yet, which I find insane.
I mean, I put shift ahead of all of them.
That's
really.
what I'm thinking. It doesn't make sense that they're bloody behind the times here.
Yeah.
The word culture is in there, right? Which I
So picture you.
didn't. pair of us in it, acting the maggot. But I didn't realise the origin of the word. Do you know where it comes from? So it's first noticed in writing in the 1950s by Brendan Behan. Dub.
Brilliant.
So he's having, the writing of describing people not from Dublin. But the word culture, like from their belief on it, is from Kilchima in Mayo.
Wow.
Yeah. I find
Which
that
is
so
a very,
interesting.
very culty place.
Yes.
Well, there's also another word for culty called Mulla.
Mulla.
And Mulla is a place in
Cavan, yeah, I know it well.
And it's like there's rough boys in Mulla.
Oh, yeah.
But a Mulla is a rougher type of culty. I would say a Mulla is like
I've
a
never
culty
heard
who
that.
still smells like silage.
Right,
Or,
a bit more raw.
He trims hedges on a tractor despite being 7.
Yeah.
I've
never heard
He
that.
demands his pint in a harp glass.
Or a welly boot.
Or he'd eat a sandwich that fell on the floor. My father-in-law was telling me a story about they were cleaning out this owl lad's house years ago, and he was a hoarder. His wife, was gone, and he was just hoarding. So him and a few lads were cleaning out this house, and they were like taking everything out. And I found a tin of fruit.
Oh.
Like fruit salad you'd have for the dessert.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I have
tin
it
of
now.
fruit
Yeah.
salad,
Yeah.
And the date on it was like 1984. And this is like probably 1994 or something. And he was like, oh, what do you think of that now, Peter? Would that be all right to eat? It's in a tin. And he said the tin was rusted. So like apart from like being the fruit being ancient, the tin itself was losing itself to the elements.
Yeah.
And he was like, Margaret used to buy them. And he was like, how long has she gone now? She goes, she's gone about 6 or 7 years. So his wife used to buy them. He opened it up and ate it, and he's not bothering him. He's fit as a fiddle.
See, I think there's something in that. I know hardy men like that
fruit.
at home, that their immune system is just outstanding because they'll eat out-of-date things frequently, that their body has to be like, look, he's not changing. We either get with the times with this fella,
Yeah, I
or
think diseases are just like, I have no business in this man at all.
in there.
I'm not going in there at all. Man is totally immune. I see he's just eating a raw sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's mental. Like a meaty froob.
You just squeeze the pork out through the lining of the sausage.
I do think there's hardy men I know like that at home. Now, they'd be a bit of a mullah. That's wild. I've never heard that word.
Mullah, yeah. Proper
Does
rough.
it originate, do you think, from the place Cavan?
I don't know. Because I heard the word before I met somebody from Mullah.
Yeah.
And it was like meeting somebody from a town called Culchie. But what other words would you add? I'd like to add the word shamazel.
You've used that a few times now.
Yeah.
You have.
I used to hear it. You'd hear it a lot of football matches where like the commentator would use it. And if you're listening to the radio, it sounds like quite a small thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there seems to be a bit of a schmozzle between the Gowan and the Mullahorn team. The referee's going to sort this out. And if you're listening on the radio, it just sounds shmozzle. But if you're watching it live, there's men losing teeth. Like,
right.
There's lads
we're downplaying here.
Absolutely hammering the face off each other.
Carnage.
And just going, oh, bit of a schmozzle here. We'll wait till it calms down.
It sounds to me like a Jewish word.
Schmozzle.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my God,
there's
there's some weird connections between Cavan words and Yiddish words.
No way.
Yeah, because I remember doing a thing with Ray Darcy, and I was talking about Cavan words. So a lot of Cavan slang would come from Elizabethan language. Cavan and Limerick have a weird connection to Elizabethan English, where first of all we reverse vowels. So we'd say, you can bait the crack, but you can't bait the child. Or it's hard enough to hate the house. So instead of heat the house,
hate the house. Yeah.
instead of beat, you'd say bait.
Yeah.
It's a vowel swap.
Okay.
But also Cavan slang we've held on to really, really weird Cavan slang. So apparently it's reflected in the distinct dialect with its influences of Scottish planters and Norsemen, and its vestiges of visceral Elizabethan English is in everyday speech, a place where the vowel exchange still holds sway. Phrases like fierce hate off that fire and you can't bait a cup of tea. We also have this weird thing of like adding a redundant appendage to a sentence that has no business being there at all. Like, I was down the town last night. So I was.
That is like, that's such, I'd extend that to Louth as well, and Meath.
Yeah.
North
or
Meath.
like phrases like, look at Jon Haverhill running up the pitch trying to start a schmozzle. Haverhill, have you ever heard that word?
No.
So Cavan and Limerick, for some reason there's a weird connection between Cavan and Limerick. We still hold on to these really old words. Haverhill is just like a rough lunatic kind of person.
Okay.
Or what are you foostering that there, Gala?
Foostering, yeah, I'd know that. A canat. Do you know the word canat?
Ogus as well, yeah. A canat.
That's the one I adore now.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the origin of that is either now, but it's specific to, I'd say, counties like Meath, Cavan, Louth. Yeah, right. Canat.
Well, yeah, the Drogheda, Dundalk, they do the so it is, so it was at the end.
Totally.
But I bad language of Irish. No, never mind. I can't remember what it was, but there was definitely a connection between Yiddish and Cavan slang.
Lovely stuff.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Speaking of turns of phrases, we got an email from Dave Rucker, listener, long-time listener, first-time emailer.
Yeah.
So last week, I think I mentioned swinging a cat.
Oh, yeah.
And where that comes from. So Dave says, so my brain is full of mostly useless trivia. Mm-hmm. Enough room to swing a cat isn't referring to an actual cat of the feline variety. It's referring to a cat of 9 tails. Do you know what that is?
No.
So cat of 9 tails is, it's for flogging somebody. It's like a whip with 9 little whips. It's a stick with 9 whips on it. And I think they have like hooks or little fucking stones or something on it.
Good Lord.
So it's talking about there being enough room to flog somebody with the cat of 9 tails. Don't let the cat out of the bag is related in that the cat of 9 tails on board a British Navy ship in the age of sail was kept in a bag when not in use, which could have been on a daily or weekly basis depending on the ship or how many bad basses were on it.
Yeah, there you go.
You wouldn't want to do something that would cause them to take the cat out of its bag.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for the podcast, even if some of it goes over my head being in the US.
You know, when we did the live show,
Thank you, Dave.
You know, the mentioning of, say, Mattress Mick, it was at times in my head like, this is so deep within Ireland of like, you know, but then the people from New Zealand, they were like, oh, we're aware of Mattress Mick. I was like, great. There are just some things that are on another level that I do wonder.
There are some people that reach a level of fame that even New Zealanders from the other end of the country or the world.
Everyone needs a good night's sleep, Cavan. And if there's one man who can guarantee that,
I'm telling you something.
I'm telling you now, it could be Mattress.
I think Mattress Mick should do an ad where he's dressed up in chainmail with a cat o' nine tails and a knight of armour, and he'd say, "Contact me if you want a good night's sleep." And then he jumps on the bed and goes to sleep. So he does a medieval style ad.
Oh, you have to put the helmet down.
Yes, put the helmet down. Oh no, he keeps putting it up, but it keeps falling down.
Yeah.
We've got some questions from another listener.
Oh, great.
This is from Michael Robert Murphy.
Okay.
I'm not sure if his name is Michael Robert or if Robert is his middle name.
Yeah.
But he's down as Michael Robert Murphy.
Okay.
Good Irish name.
Beautiful.
Hey, Justine and Kevin. Really enjoy the podcast. Great listen each week. Here are some would you rather scenarios. Maybe a new segment.
Oh.
First of all, Michael, don't fucking tell us what to do.
Whoa.
Who? You think you're Hilary?
All right,
you think you're the producer? Looking for a cut, probably.
That'll be the next little thing.
So would you rather do stand-up for 24 hours straight or do a podcast episode for 24 hours straight? I think that's an easy question.
Oh, absolutely. Simple. It's the podcast all the way.
Oh, 100%.
You get to sit down. There's no audience to react. Like, you can just have a streamless consciousness.
Now, you would also probably go mad a bit.
Can you leave to pee? That's a great question.
Oh, you would have to have jars, I think.
Because if you're doing that in stand-up, you might get a reaction. Probably not a laugh, just more concern.
Hold on. Did Tommy Tiernan do stand-up for like 24 hours?
Jesus.
Tommy Tiernan at one point had the record.
He has the record?
Yeah.
Or had at any point?
It was beaten by some prick.
For God's sake.
But Tommy Tiernan had the world record for longest stand-up.
I did not know that.
Oh my God. 36 hours and 15 minutes.
How?
But I don't know how he... Did he piddle? Did he piddle on stage? Did he take breaks?
Was this for some charity thing, or was it just as a...
I'm not really sure. The Mead Man has completed 36 hours, 15 minutes. This is from 2009.
Good God.
He did it in Nuns Island in Galway, which if you're going to get a fresh nun, go straight to the source. Go to Nuns Island. They're running free. Some of them are feral. Some of them, you have to domesticate these nuns.
You have to approach them from the side.
Yes. If you do catch a wild nun, if you put it in with a domesticated nun, she'll eventually settle down.
Learn the ways. You have to have like pads down around the house.
He went on stage at 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, taking only 5-minute breaks. There we go.
Jesus.
Until at 3:15 a.m. this morning. Wow. That is from Sunday, 12th of April, 2009.
Do you know what? I wouldn't even have... Like, obviously,
Profits from the event are going to help homeless teenagers in Galway. There we go.
Incredible. I wouldn't even have the material to... Like, are you doing material on loop at that point?
I think... Well, Tommy is very good at going out, kind of not knowing what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He has no fear at this stage.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be a lot more comfortable doing it.
Oh, not a chance. But podcast, absolutely till the cows come home. I can sit here talking nonsense.
But I think... we'd have piss jars. I think that's the only way to go.
Essential, yeah.
So there we go. Both unanimous there. Would you rather go on the run for a year or be under house arrest for a year?
Oh, Lord.
On the run for a year. What's the crime, first of all? What do you think you'd be on the run for?
What am I on the run for?
Tax evasion?
No, I'd say it's
Killing
maybe using images to Photoshop without the rights to the images.
So, sort of people you went to school with putting nude bodies under them, that same thing.
Say I've made merch that maybe I wouldn't have had the rights to use.
So this is relating to a real story.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
A real story.
Did you have permission from the Joe Dolan estate to make that t-shirt?
No, here's where that's fine, because I know the photographer who took the image. And I didn't use the image directly, and he was fine. Like, we talked about it. And I don't make any money off that. All the money from that goes to the Irish Hospice Foundation. I'm not making any profits.
Well, you fucking...
So that's fine.
You just got away with that with the skinnier teeth.
The only ones where I'm like, I have used Daniel O'Donnell's face to make, Danny Boy, the pints are calling. Okay. That's on a t-shirt that people have bought.
Right.
Now, in fairness, it's only his head that I've used and stuck onto someone else's body and that kind of crack. Would Daniel come after me?
Your Honour, in fairness, I only used his head.
And
probably the most recognisable part of his body.
But his hair as well now would be fairly iconic. But how many people have made merch as well? Like, you'd hardly be targeting just me because I've sold about 10 in the span of 10 years.
Yeah, okay. You're not making huge profits.
No.
So let's say, for example, you make a T-shirt featuring the face of Daniel O'Donnell.
Okay.
Maybe a different design. What would he be saying in this? Hey, do you want to come over and split the D?
Split the D.
Yeah. Let's keep it fresh.
100%.
Let's keep it fresh. Why don't you come over to my house and split the D? I mean, it does sound...
It's perfect.
It sounds like he's suggesting something untoward.
Yeah. Beautiful. Little wink.
And you make 20 grand off this. Yeah. The guards are onto you. Daniel O'Donnell is pissed off.
Oh, absolutely.
Release the hounds. Some dog smells an empty sort of a fast food wrapper from Charlie's. So a half-eaten pork belly
Kung
soup
po.
or something, or kung po. And the dogs are off.
They know.
So you've a choice. If you're arrested, you're gonna do a year house arrest, or you go on the run
chances.
for a year.
You run and you never look back.
Which one?
I'm going to go on the run.
You're going to go
because
on the run.
The stories, I think I'd lose my mind. Like, lockdown nearly drove me demented, as it did everyone. And I think that was an indicator of, like, it wouldn't suit me now being stuck up in a house all the day long.
Conversely, would it suit you to be, jumping off trains, having to grow a mustache?
Yeah, that would take a week at best. But it would...
Fake passports.
Yeah, there'd
going
be a
to
lot
Thailand.
to it. There'd be a lot to it. But then when you'd get somewhere like, if you get somewhere remote in Bali or in Vietnam...
Honest.
Yeah, Ballyhaise, Agricultural College, Cavan. That's where I'm headed.
They'll never look for you there.
They'll never look for me there. But I would just... Yeah, you'd have to start in your life, obviously. But maybe that'd be nice.
Think
It'd be
about this,
freeing.
Justine. You can't use your credit card. You can't use your bank card, rather. You're going, whatever money is in your pocket or whatever money you make on the road. It's a very hard life.
I think I'd have to change my identity entirely. I'd cut my hair. I'd be unrecognisable. And I'd be just accepting I'm a different person now. And maybe there's something freeing in that I'd move out there and be like, do you know what? This suits me now, selling cocktails here on a little tiki hut.
Oh, yeah, but what if you thought of a really good TikTok or something?
I know. But then I can maybe, you can get masks these days. And you wouldn't even know it's a mask.
So you'd set up a whole new TikTok page.
And I'd have like fake tattoos and stuff that people would be like, oh, that's not Justine. Couldn't possibly be.
Ireland's newest Instagram influencer makes Justine Stafford looks like a stupid old homeless woman. She's hilarious. Would you, though, be angry, though, if your new identity overshadowed your previous identity?
Yeah, that's a bit sad, isn't it?
Nobody's talking about Justine Stafford anymore.
Who?
That stupid old asshole. Everyone's talking about this new girl.
Christine?
Christine Scaffolding. Yeah, I think eventually, like, when you're getting your fifth gossy, you'd be like, oh, it was me the whole time.
I know.
I was Justine.
And then the guards handcuffed me. Dragged out of the gauzies. Which would you pick?
I mean, out of laziness, I think I'd just go, well, I've got 2 kids now. I can't be fucking trips around the world with a fake mustache.
Yeah.
I think I would probably just do the house arrest. Now, my wife would be angry, but she'd be less angry than if I went on the run for a year.
If you went, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, third question. Would you rather be able to go out at night time or not be able to sleep for a year? Sorry, would you rather only be able to go out at night time?
Okay.
Or not be able to sleep for a year?
Now.
So you're talking like, would you rather be a vampire or an insomniac?
Okay. Right.
To simplify it.
I'm kind of...
You don't have to suck blood.
Already a bit of an insomniac. So that's not a real big draw.
You don't sleep much at night, do you not?
I'd be a devil for not being able to stay asleep.
Is that why you started a fight club?
Look, we'll talk about that outside the podcast, Cavan, all right?
I started a fight club in secondary school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah, now come on.
Do I not tell you with this? So when I was about 14, Fight Club came out and I got it on DVD. Guess how much money I spent?
DVD, €22.
Take away €4 and double it.
18 multiplied by 2 is 36.
Oh shit! No, €40.
Oh right, okay.
€40.
Fucking hell!
There used to be a DVD
Was
shop.
there a director's cut on this or something?
It was a 2-disc thing, but this one DVDs used to be really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And this is like probably 2003 or something. And there was a Class shop along the quays near Forbidden Planet.
Oh yeah.
In Dublin, and I found Fight Club. I knew it was going to be cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know much about it. Just knew it was going to be fucking cool. Bought it, watched it, blew my mind. Went into school, said to my friend Gary, "I'm starting a fucking Fight Club."
My God.
So we would meet in the cloakroom kind of area, and I remember Brad Pitt had a cool little slit in his eyebrow, so I shaved one of them.
Oh, nice.
And we started fighting. It wasn't great now, and I wasn't happy with it. And then my friend Darren at an agricultural show was like, "Here, you're doing this proper. Like, you're fighting Gary seriously." And me and Gary started fighting, and Gary battered me. Like,
and come here, had you many members?
I say about 4 or 5 lads, but only a couple of us fought.
And had you a treasurer, or was there?
No, there was no money involved. There's no fees or anything.
Grant, okay. So the membership was just turn up.
Just turn up.
That's it. Yeah, that's nice. Easy access, I suppose.
So I got off the Royals there. So
yeah, I don't know. I love the night.
Hold on a second. Not been able to sleep for a year. After a couple of days off sleep, you're literally an insane person.
Yeah, like it has bigger effects. It's worse than being hungover. Your risk of dying is also like tripled.
Yeah.
You wouldn't live. There's no way you'd still be alive if you weren't sleeping. I love the nighttime as well. When I'm at home in the country,
I love the nighttime.
I fucking love the nighttime. It's therapeutic to me being at home in the country and driving at night. There's nothing I find more therapeutic.
So the world record for staying awake without sleep is 11 days.
And didn't that lad then suffer hugely mental issues throughout the rest of his life?
Randy Gardner, which sounds like a character in a novel your granny might read. Randy Gardner. 11 days and 25 minutes in 1963. So he kind of started hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
He was essentially, his body was like falling asleep while being awake. So he was dreaming. He was seeing spiders fucking crawling up his body and stuff. And his wife said that after that, he went to sleep for like 3 days after. After it, he was a completely different man. It totally changed his personality.
No, absolutely. But I think they did it for a world record thing, and there was a guy who did it. I'm not sure if it is that man or someone else, but they said he suffered mentally for the rest of his life. He never recovered.
Don't do it. They used to do it in fucking Guantanamo Bay, didn't they?
Yeah.
Set off alarms every 20 minutes.
I wouldn't.
The bastards.
Who's?
I
love the night.
Going out at night. I like the nightlife. I like to party.
But even in the country, I love, that's the one thing I adore when I go home. You can see the stars, Cavan. You can't see them in the city, and you go home and it's peace, and you look up and you're like, wow.
There's the Big Dipster.
I'm nothing in this universe. I am so insignificant.
You love feeling that sense of
I do. It takes the pressure off. You're like, this is grand.
It's a bit sad though, because it takes light so long to reach Earth.
They died years ago.
Yeah, you're just looking at photographs of dead stars.
Yeah.
Sad though.
But you remember that time, fucking hell. This to me is the death of you may just break up. They had a thing on Groupon for a long time. You could buy someone a star.
Oh, aye.
Are you fucking demented? Have you lost? Just give up. Just leave them. If that's where your brain has gone to, if this is a good present, you've lost it entirely. How can you verify that? Which one? You fucking tell me which one is the stars is mine.
Not the main one. They're the ones to the left of it. Also, it'd be very easy to fake.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing was a cod and people were buying it. I'm like, is there actually... You know what? If you were willing to pay for it, you deserve it.
I remember when we were in school, you could buy a goat for a child in Africa.
Yeah,
for a family or family or a village or something. Bohor, I think it was the Bohor project. So we all did that as kids, but a lot of you in school just for his girlfriend at the time that I think they
I
were about to
remember
break
you
up.
saying this.
Just did a fake one.
Yeah.
Just like a budgie code for a family in Africa. What a scumbag.
But like, if you're, I'm sorry, buying a fucking star, like, will you cop onto yourself?
Yeah, it's already dead. If you went up there to visit it, it's gone.
You're gone.
It's gone.
Good luck to
I'm
you.
here to see my star. Sorry, that actually died millions of years ago. What?
What?
I still have the lease.
Come on. I have the receipt here. Can I get the money back?
So there's some great questions from Mick. I hope. So I think for that one, we'd be night owls.
Yes, absolutely.
We would not be able to not sleep for a year because we would be dead.
Lovely stuff.
I have something here that was sent to me that is very interesting, the whole story. I want to hear your take on it. Now, it's from Reddit, and it's a discussion of, have I been catfished in the weirdest way possible? Okay, so, all right, lads, I need some help making sense of this because my brain is absolutely scrambled. I matched this girl on a dating app. Let's call her Sarah. She's gorgeous, like properly stunning. But
Her name is Sarah.
Her name is Sarah. She's gorgeous, proper stunning, but also has that kind of quirky energy, very quirky. Our chat is great, full of banter, good vibes, all that. We decide to meet up and I suggest something simple, a coffee or maybe a pint. But no, Sarah wants something different. She says she's always wanted to learn how to play the bodhrán. Very specific, but all right.
It's pretty specific.
She asks if I can play. I tell her no. Next thing I know, she's found a Bodhrán instructor and has booked us both a lesson. Okay.
Just both a lesson.
So at this point, I'm a bit bewildered.
Okay.
It's a weird first
Does
date.
he have to buy a bodhrán now?
I'm sure if you're going to instructors, surely they provide them. I did a lesson once in Belfast and they gave us the bodhráns.
That was probably for a hen night or something.
No, some culture Ireland night.
I think if you're going to instructor, they want you to provide the own instrument for yourself.
I also think if you want to learn the bodhrán, you'd want to fucking invest in the fact you need the instrument.
Yeah.
And to practice, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't mention if he had to buy the bodhrán or not. He's a bit bewildered anyway, but he's like, it could be fun and spontaneous. We'll do it. So we text back and forth a bit over the next few days. And on the day of the lesson, she confirms it's still happening. So I rock up to the place. And just as I'm about to go in, she texts saying she's running a few minutes late, but to go inside and she'll meet me in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So he goes into the lesson anyway, and he's there with a middle-aged man, the bodhrán instructor. And it's just him and the instructor. And he says, we'll wait for her. So they wait about 10 minutes, still no sign. And then the instructor eventually says, sure, we may just start without her. And they do a full bodhrán lesson for an hour. And Sarah never shows up. Okay?
Can you please stop crying on the bodhrán? It's interfering with the sound.
And he could do like a little song from though to try and cheer him up. Super. And they finish the lesson and he tries to contact her with zero response. Completely ghosted. WhatsApp is gone. Numbers blocked.
What?
Yeah.
I think it was the bodhrán instructor.
So here's where it gets weird. At this point, I assume she's either dead or this was some kind of mad prank. Either way, I try to move on, chalk it up as a weirdest day experience of my life. Then about a week later, I'm walking past the bodhrán place and my curiosity gets the better of me. I figure I'll pop in, ask the instructor if he ever heard from her, just to make sure she's not in a ditch somewhere. Nice, in fairness to him, to be concerned. So he opens the door and the instructor's in the middle of a lesson with another guy. He starts apologising for interrupting, then says, sorry, I was just explaining to you, like I was checking up on Sarah. And then the guy in there looks up at him and is confused and says, he's also waiting on Sarah. She's booked the lesson and hasn't shown up.
Shut the fuck up.
What's going on? So he's like, at this point, my brain is short-circuiting. I don't understand. I'm standing there staring at this guy, realising we were both independently
She's
lured
a
in here.
Venus flytrap for bodhrán instructors.
This is the thing that I was trying to figure out from this story. This is all based in Cork, by the way. This is where this all happened. He's asking for theories of what the hell is going on. I do think it's the bodhrán instructor.
I think it's 100% the bodhrán instructor.
Yeah.
100%. What a novel way to get business. Imagine doing a TED talk on that. I grew my business from very, very low money to almost 40,000% by tricking lonely men into doing bodhrán lessons.
Yeah.
But it's a once-off scam and it's a lot of work.
Completely.
Like, it's not like they're going like, well, Sarah's not here, but I love the bodhrán. I'm going to come back next week for 8 more weeks.
Like, and also, to be the bodhrán instructor in that scenario, how would it not slip at some point that you mentioned something that you realise you've talked to this guy in chats the last few days with?
bizarre.
Like it's a middle-aged man. If it is him posing as Sarah, we don't know that.
I mean, what's the other? What's
the
other
alternative?
It's just like
here?
she's got the weirdest kink in the world.
She just wants more.
I love sending men to Bodhrán Instructors. That's my thing.
What?
But Pornhub does not have that as a category.
It's so
You have to go out and make it yourself.
wild.
That's a wild one, yeah.
That's my stomach.
Justine's stomach there going, making the noise of a barrel.
Making the noise of
Did you see the guy that threatened to kill Mary Lou McDonald has been jailed for 3 years?
No.
Did you hear about this story?
No.
This happened like a couple of years ago. I remember this Dublin lad, he's 29 years old, posted a video threatening to kill Mary Lou McDonald.
Jesus.
And he was also, first of all, if you're going to threaten an Irish politician,
Yeah.
fucking Mary Lou would be
Big
the last
swing
one.
there.
The last one I'd fuck with.
My God.
Like, I'm not saying she's got, the IRA
Say nothing.
on speed
Say
dial.
nothing, Cavan.
Yeah. She doesn't have the IRA on speed dial, but she definitely has a phone and a number in an old phone somewhere.
Yeah.
In a drawer.
Yeah.
Just like, open up that drawer with all them wires and get out that phone.
Yeah.
But he was also wearing like a homemade balaclava when he recorded the video. Isn't that adorable? Like he couldn't.
Was it
he
like
didn't
a
know.
tight that we
Like
just cut?
no, it was like it looked like a sort of a woolly ski hat.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, so you got a woolly ski hat and just cut eye holes in them. Like it's really easy to get a balaclava. They're not illegal.
Yeah.
Go to an army surplus shop. You're going
Yeah.
for like a $5. But like he cut his own one. Like he had like a Fisher Price My First Terrorism set. And he threatened to kill Mary Lou. And now he's in jail for 3 years.
Off the back
He's
of
fucking
that.
lucky he's in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. That could have ended a lot worse. But like,
One phone call to
was
Jerry.
it-
That's all it takes.
I saw a clip the other day and I was like, is this for real? But it is. It's him carol singing at a house. And they
Yeah.
open the door.
Ding dong merrily and hey. For heaven and earth you're
I'll
singing.
actually play the clip here because I saved it on my phone because I was like, is this for real?
It is mad. Well, to a lot of people born like from 1994 onwards, Jerry Adams is just sort of like a funny TikTok man.
Yeah. Until I watched that series, my God, that was eye-opening.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He's got cookbooks and stuff, doesn't he?
'Tis the season to be jolly. Turkey are la 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 la.
Oh my God.
And then it's
Justine.
literally him
Oh,
at the door.
Lord. That's so funny.
But how is he so... It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I could not believe that was a real... I'm
like-
assuming it is, but like it's...
It's like when OJ was releasing like videos on Instagram like, hey, I'm going to play golf this week. And you're like, yeah, man, you should be in hiding. You
Yeah. Honestly, it's wild. Absolutely wild.
Have you watched any of Adolescence?
Oh yeah, I binged it all in one
Did
day.
you? I'm only on like episode 3.
Really?
Mad shit. But like I'd never my algorithm is mostly just like weird DIY stuff and like facts about Jurassic
How
Park.
not to slit your hand
How
open
not to slit your hand.
using...
So I've never looked at. I actually went in to look at like what is Andrew Tate?
Okay.
What is his whole deal?
Yeah.
And like I don't understand how like young lads think he's like cool. Like he is muscly,
Sure,
but he
he's losing
looks
his hair as well.
well, he's shaved to
Oh,
the
is he
point where his
shaved it now?
his head looks like sort of like condom slick, shiny. And for somebody who's very homophobic, he's got amazing blowjob lips. And he's wearing his auntie's sunglasses. But like the more I watched him, the more he kind of sounded like a baby doing a podcast about like a bold baby.
Yeah.
It's like, when I come home from play school, I want my mom to have a bop-bop ready for me. I'm like, give me my fucking bop-bop. I'm in charge. And it seems really, it's a lot of stuff like sort of like controlling your wife.
Oh, it's fucking deranged. Your
but-
algorithm is even going to be more
But
fucked
also,
now after watching that.
Yeah, my algorithm is going to be in bits.
Yeah.
Just like, when your mommy says only one story for bedtime, you tell her, no, I want 3 stories for bedtime, mom. I'm in charge. Like he was talking about, he's like just saying to your wife, you know, when I want a coffee, I tell my wife, give me a coffee. And if she says no, then she gets the fuck out. I'm like, but you're saying you want to create a transactional relationship
Yeah.
from your wife. So you're saying, I provide all the money,
Yeah.
But she makes me sandwiches. She gets me tea whenever I want it.
Yeah.
I give her this and she gives me that's a transactional relationship. But like that's not a basis for
any
happy
healthy
life.
Relationship. Absolutely.
Because if she gets pissed off transaction, she fucking leaves you.
Yeah.
Probably when you're like 70 and you need somebody to mind you at that stage, or you're just gonna be a lonely old weird blowjob lipped man.
Yeah. No, completely. It's wild to me that guys get invested into it. I don't see the appeal at all. But it is such a great litmus test. And I've gone on first dates with guys who'll be like, oh, I love him or Joe Rogan. I find it a real red flag if a guy is like, I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast every week.
Yeah.
I don't mind if someone's listened to an episode because a guest is on that
Bill
they
Murray
like.
was on. I'm gonna listen to that.
You know, that
Quentin
makes
Tarantino,
sense.
I
can understand that. But someone who religiously every week watches it, someone watched the fucking episode, just like, okay, no, you're a diehard fan. This is not going to end well.
It's a fucking 3-hour video.
Absolutely. And I was like, and any of those cases with those dates, it did not work out. And truly it was because they were fucking weird and were into his ideologies about stuff. And like how they even treated about like stuff about meat or eating things. I was like, you are a fucking lunatic.
I remember, him saying like he spoke to somebody who ate elk meat. Bill Burr was beside him on a panel. And he was like, when you ate the elk meat, did you like feel different? And Bill Burr was like, no, Joe, you fucking lunatic. Meat is meat. But the watching Adolescence as well, like, so is Andrew Tate just making teenage boys feel bad if like nobody's having sex with you? But nobody has sex with you when you're a teenager.
This is the thing, and
teenagers like
no, I was not.
No, we weren't getting the right.
I was
like,
a frigid.
If you were lucky, you're 17. Like if you are lucky.
I got this shift for the first time at 16. And I was like, oh, baby steps here, baby. There's no progression.
Slow down
here.
there.
Whoa.
Hey, slow down, Romeo. My lips are up here.
Totally. I was no way.
Do you want to hold hands at the dinner dance? Whoa. Baby steps there, Jimbo.
I'd like to see a ring first. This is crazy carry on.
But that was it. Like nobody's like making 15-year-olds feel bad about not having sex. Nobody's having sex at 15.
But that's the fucking plague of the internet for kids as well. And
maybe we're really naive and maybe they are.
Now, don't get me wrong. When I was in school, there were people from the town.
Townies were mental.
They had way more just life experience. Yeah. They'd, done all sorts. They'd fingered.
But also, like everyone's, like most people are kind of losers when they're in secondary school.
Oh, good God.
That's fine.
I was.
When you get into college, you'll.
But here's the thing. I'm so glad I was a loser. If I could go back in time, I would not change that at all because I think other times you can peak. You can peak in school. No one wants that.
There's people who are really cool in school and they were not cool in adult life.
No, that's what I'm like.
Adult life. Jesus, I'm listening to much fucking Andrew Tate.
You're fucking.
In adult life.
So then blonde hair, blue
eyes. Do you
eyes.
think as well? Because like kids are feeling like lonely or like they're not. They feel like they've no friends or they're isolated. Do you think music was do you think they're missing out on like, we had like music. So like when I was 15 and I didn't know who the fuck I was, but I liked certain types of music.
Yeah.
And I would just find people who liked
the same things.
Like people who like Nirvana and the Pixies and Queens of Stone Age. And then I was like, all right, I'm one of these lads.
Yeah.
I have to grow my hair long now.
Yeah.
And I have to dress like Kurt Cobain. And then I have my little tribe. Yeah. But music is a lot more homogenized now.
Yeah.
And like, are people missing those clicks?
I do. Well, I also always struggled with that in school because I liked certain emo stuff. But I also liked Joe Dolan. I also liked Westlife. I fitted into a lot of categories.
Sure.
Which meant that then I couldn't go full emo. I couldn't commit to that because then the Westlife crowd are like, the fuck's going on here?
You couldn't go fully Joe either. Just go in a white suit.
You couldn't. No. The emos are going to be like, well, you're gone the wrong fucking...
You're definitely not eating spaghetti for dinner, Justine. No. In that white suit.
Chili con carne everywhere. But I found that...
The best I could do is a risotto.
Napkin, please, though. But when I did the film festivals when I was a teenager, I found that I'd go down to them.
That was your clique.
No, but the thing was, I'd meet people at that and be like, my people.
Yeah.
But when I go back to school, I'd be like, but I'm GAA, I'm country here. And it was a weird, I was very confused.
You had to code switch.
There was a lot going on, yeah.
Yeah, I think kids are missing out on clicks. There's no clicks anymore. When's the last time you saw a goth in the wild?
I'd love to know. I really would. Where are they? They're an endangered species now.
If you've spotted a goth, please
call us.
Snap a photo. Give us the coordinates.
On Gothline. Our designated phone call. Just sing down the words of some Fall Out Boy song. It'll call us. I think what's wrong with the internet for kids now is there's no, like, say, one person that kids all like or would watch. Say when we were kids, The Den would be an indicator of like, oh, that's a thing that is popular.
Actually, the closest we had to Andrew Tate was probably Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was kind of misogynistic. He was a rough lad.
Yeah.
He told it like it is.
It's like a Dublin mullah.
He was like Dublin.
You know?
But he never gave you bad advice, really.
No, Jesus, no.
He was just a bit cheeky.
Oh, but there's, like, say, with TikTok now, there's an event I'm doing and it's 4 teenagers and they're trying to figure out who they'd get as a host, but there's no, like, universal thing that kids are all into. It's so categorized into, if you're into Minecraft, whatever that game is, you have your online big stars.
Yeah.
If you're into, it's so niche. Everything is so niche for kids now. There's no universal thing that they're all into in the way when we were, you know, you were watching The Den or whatever. Few bands were on the go locally or whatever.
We all got our entertainment at one pipe. And now everyone has their own pipe.
They do. Kevin, I think back, like, mother of God, I was a disaster of a child. Never mind the juggling that I got so bored in the country. There was one summer, and it didn't happen once. It happened a few times. I used to play hide and seek with a crucifix of Jesus.
Are you what?
I was so
did you hide the crucifix or did you hide from the crucifix?
No, I'd hide it.
You'd hide
in the garden.
You'd hide a crucifix of our Lord.
Of our Lord.
And then you'd go looking for it?
I'd go and find it after I had hid it anyway.
Did you give enough time for you to forget where you hid it? Are you like a little doggy? Did you bury it with your hands?
No, God, no. I was like, oh, my friend. Like, Jesus was my friend. And
Jesus was my friend.
Kevin, I was so lonely. I was such a loser.
God.
People have no idea.
Had you not an animal to play with at least?
Laddie had helped. My dog had helped me find the crucifix.
Come
on, Laddie.
What's just seen that? I was trying to find Christ again. Fair play to her. No, you misunderstood. No. She's literally trying to find a crucifix that she hid not 20 minutes ago. Oh, okay.
We need to get that child into a club or something.
Does she go to a special school?
No, we need to get her into the youth group or something now. Get her back into the GAA now. There's something's amiss.
I was worried when she started juggling. Now I am concerned.
Can we get her doing that Fight Club still? Can we get her into that? It'll be a drive for
you
us
now. You would have fucking battered boys in my Fight Club. Well, just saying that's all the time we have time for time.
Time
is up.
Time.
If you want to send us in some emails, you can do so at thelovelyshowpodcast@gmail.com.
Get on it. Send us all your feedback, your questions, your thoughts.
thelovelyshowpodcast@gmail.com. I had that correct.
Beautiful. Your confessions. We want it all.
Questions, confessions, thoughts,
Yeah.
prayers for Justine. What about this? We should hide a crucifix somewhere in Ireland and give clues for our listeners to find it. And don't worry, I will tie Justine up so that she won't run and find it herself. Well, Justine, you're a mental woman.
But look how far I've come, Kevin. I think that's the real...
Yeah. Is it that far, really?
Yeah. On a roundabout, essentially.
You have been lovely.
You have.
And we'll see you all next week.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.